What is going on, brothers and sisters? Eric Rosen here, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. I offer coaching services and personal training services. If you guys are interested in getting fit, either physically, mentally, emotionally, or even doing better in your relationships, send me an email, ericrosencoaches@gmail.com. So actually got up at a pretty early hour this morning. It was nice because I was able to actually go into the meditation chambers and channel a nice little message that I wanted to share with you guys today. And it was something that actually happened, I think Sunday maybe, I don't know. But what it's about is accessing and then also staying in what I call the stream. And what I mean by the stream is it's kind of like this stream where it's where life feels just easier. It just feels lighter. It feels right even. It's a place where it doesn't feel like you're carrying the weight of your problems or your responsibilities or your obligations or your worries, or even just your dreams, your future aspirations, where everything just feels right. It's a very light feeling. And so what I've noticed is that a lot of times I can get to this place, but I can access it a certain way, but a lot of times if I try to go back to that way that I access getting into this stream, it doesn't always work. It's like that. It's almost like I access it through a certain doorway, but then I go back to that doorway and it's like the door's locked, it's shut. And so what happened the other day was I stepped into the stream in a different way. It was just like a different way of accessing it. And what it made me realize, and then thinking about this morning, is that I believe that the reason that this happens is because, well, for one, nothing is static in this universe. Like, things are always changing. But I also think of it as that's how the growth is going to occur. It's like teaching you new ways to access this stream, and by doing that, it's also allowing you, like, the more experiences that you have, like accessing the stream in different ways, the easier it's going to be, whatever's going on in your life, to get back into the stream. I kind of had this analogy earlier of like the Matrix, kind of like when they're in the Matrix and the different pay phones ring, and then they pick up the phone and that puts them back into the real world. It's kind of like the same thing, where it's like you don't always go back to the same pay phone. It's like a different pay phone every time. But this stream that I'm talking about, it's not, I don't believe that it's possible to stay there 100% of the time. That's just the world that we live in, where there is real physical realities, real harsh realities and stuff that comes up. But I think the point is, one, it's how long you step out of the stream when you do, whether it's, because you develop a worry, or you get upset with somebody, or you're even just have aspirations and you're dreaming about how you want your life to look, and maybe you're in the planning stages of it, and you're like, okay, how's this going to work? How am I going to fit this piece here? It's a lot of work. How are all the details going to shake out? That's a positive time when you're planning that, but at the same time, you're not really in this stream, if you're intellectually processing how you're going to take care of things. So, and I think that it's important to step out of the stream so that you can kind of pop your head out, learn some lessons there, but then also step back into the stream. So being in this place, it's a very clear, it's a very light feeling. It's a feeling that I would describe as just this just feels right. This feels like this is what life is about. This is what God intended. And it's not, there's different ways to access it. I mean, just to give you some like examples, some like ways that you can do it. Like the primary one that I think that I first did it, thinking back, was simply meditation. That's a lot of different way. That's a way that people can do it. You know, during my meditation earlier, like as I was like coming up with this video, I had this vision of like different like pyramids like popping up, like multiple pyramids. And what I got from it was, you know, the pyramid, it's like, it's got the four corners at the bottom, so it's like grounding into the earth, but then it also has its peak where it's like going up into the heavens, almost like accessing like this higher like vibration, this higher level of information. And I think because I saw these multiple pyramids, I was like reiterating like, yes, there are always going to be, there's an infinite number of ways, there's many different ways that you can access this stream, okay, the peak of the pyramid, and then bring it like into your reality, like the base of the pyramid. So just getting into the present moment, that's another way that I've done it before. Simply just like bringing your awareness like to this fucking moment right here is a way of stepping into the stream. Or even just like processing on like a deep level that like, you know what, yeah, shit might seem fucked right now, there might be a lot of stuff going on in my life that I'm trying to figure out, but it's like, it's really interesting. It's like this moment where you just realize, you're like, you know what, like everything's fine, like it's not that bad. It's kind of like that Bastille song, like if you close your eyes, doesn't it feel like nothing has changed at all? That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like even like no matter like what's going on in your life, this stream, this place that you can access, it's always there. And what I found is like the most uncomfortable times in my life is like where I feel like I haven't like been in that place for an extended period of time. And then when I get back there, it's like, oh, okay, I remember now, like this is here, this is always available to me, and this is what makes the most sense. So I think what you can, you know, maybe expect, or another way to access it is like just seeing the beauty in the world. Just like sometimes, like if I go somewhere that's very scenic, like say a canyon or a mountain or something, and I try to like process it intellectually, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like trying to think about how beautiful this is, and it just doesn't compute, it just doesn't make sense. And it's because it's like such a, almost like a, I don't want to say a visual overload, but it's like it's so much beauty, like it's just almost too much like for the brain to even process. And that's because it comes from like this very beautiful like thing that like God created, like this beautiful perfection of nature. And I know that that's another way to access the stream because the mind can't process it. It's like just admiring like the beauty of it. Because when you start to see the beauty in it and you start to see the abundance, it kind of just takes you back to that place of like how wonderful this world really is. And that's really what it is I'm trying to describe to you here about accessing this stream, is seeing the world as like this beautiful, like loving, like positive place. You know, where your personal drama and your, you know, just the stuff, your problems going on in your life, like that's not like the most important thing going on. I mean, it is important, but it doesn't mean that you have to like shoulder it like this backpack that's like weighing you down on like some like long hike that you're treating like life. So I think what you can expect if you go into a meditation and you try this out and you want to try to access the stream, you know, you might, I don't know, you might see some visuals, you might start getting mental pictures in your head. You can do self-inquiry, you know, where you're either asking yourself questions in this meditative state. You can pray to God, angels, your guides, ask them questions. You know, and I would recommend, like, when you get answers too, a common thing to want to do is like record them, like put them down in a notebook and a journal, like, oh, I got to remember this. But the thing is when this stuff comes up, it's coming up from a place of beyond the mind. Like, it's such a deep feeling that it's not gonna translate as well to paper, because the words on paper isn't going to like convey the feeling that you had. And then it's also going to teach you that it's not always about like the intellectual, like processing, thinking, reading, writing, that learning to trust that information is there, that it came up from inside you, it's still there. And just like this stream, this information, where this source of information that comes from this stream, it's always there available to you. So it's just about finding the different ways to access it. So, you know, when you're not like doing a meditation or something and you're out in the world, you know, if things don't seem to be making sense, or you have pain in your body, or you feel like you're pushing too hard, or things just seem really fucked, that's your cue to like find a way to access the stream. The most recent way that I did it, I was like getting so frustrated with my day, I literally just looked up and said, what do you want me to do? Like, out of frustration. And the answer came to me. It was like, just step back into the stream, man. And even just that reminded me, like, oh yeah, that is there. And just that reminder that it was there allowed me to step back into it. So a lot of times, like, the doors, like, they might just come up like that, where they just pop up. You don't even know how they're going to do it. So if you're going out and about in the world and things seem weird or not right, or you feel challenged, you know, ask yourself, do the self-inquiry as you're out in the world, or your guides, your angels, or God, like, what is this? What is this that I'm moving through? So you can gain an understanding of like what it is, and then that allows you to actually step into the stream as you're moving through life, as you're moving through these things, and you can actually gain this greater sense of awareness as you're moving through it. Say, what is it? What is it I'm moving through? What's the lesson here? So for an example, like, you might have a conflict with somebody, you know, maybe it's a chance to, you know, heal like the separation between people. You know, I did this video the other day about the separation like between us, about personal drama and like me versus you. Or it could be, you just accomplished a goal, and for some reason you don't feel great about the fact that you just like finished something, but you're like, oh, I should feel good about this. Well, it could be that you're, you know, not acknowledging that acknowledgement phase of like pat yourself on the back, you did do something right, like reward, you know, acknowledge the fact that you met that goal, so that you can actually create that vibration of momentum, and do that every day. So that, you know, these are just different examples that might come up as you're moving through stuff, to step into that stream and see what's really going on. So that's what I got for you guys today. Yeah, personal training, coaching, it's available. You know, if you guys are interested in going deeper, you know, I'll meet you wherever you're at. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go this, you know, we get pretty deep here with some of this stuff sometimes, but, you know, even if you just want to get fit, even if you just want help with your relationships, or, you know, you got a health issue, maybe you got, you know, type 2 diabetes, or, you know, you're chronic fatigue, or just anything, can help you guys out. So ericrosencoaches@gmail.com. In love and truth, I'll see you guys next time.